In order to pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Before any executive sessions, public comment?
There you go.
I'm putting this book of exhibits here not to inundate you with anything,
Okay.
but to demonstrate that this is documented. Okay, my name is Laura Krzyzanowski. I live in the People's Republican City of Pottsville. So I'm here basically to demonstrate why I believe I'm constitutionally no longer required to pay City of Pottsville taxes, school taxes, or county taxes. 15 years ago, I stood before Judge Jacqueline Russell with a survey in hand, and many documents, 5 books of this documents. I argued that I could not pay my taxes until the court settled the property dispute between 317, 319, and 321. Russell insisted that I must pay the taxes, that we could settle the boundary dispute sometime in the future. 15 years later, nothing has been decided. So in the interim, I now have building encroachments, and I have 3 different land encroachments. Contrary to my efforts to settle this matter going up the governmental chain of command, first through the City of Pottsville Codes and Zoning Department, required to make sure BOCA codes are followed and that permits are sent up here so that you can keep the county tax records straight. Excuse me. And then the city business manager and the city council of the City of Pottsville. I recently tried to schedule a meeting with the new city business manager, and that's to no avail for the past 3 weeks. To all, I presented the survey and multiple documents evidencing that there were problems with the land and also building additions and things being added to these buildings. And anyway, the city ignored all the documents and photographs, so I presented a lot of these things to the county assessor. The county assessor then sent out a mapper. The old camera card showed what existed, and the mapper actually came out and measured all of the additions and things that were done without building permits that were not sent up to the county. The county then, after doing this, entered into the camera card that these things were documented by the county as having been done without building and zoning permits, and that no building and zoning permits were sent up to the county. Rather than turn it over to the legal department to possibly request an action in mandamus to require the city to comply with the law, it was dropped. So I ended up filing an action with the Court of Common Pleas, which ended up in front of Judge Russell. And by the way, the county tax assessors did the right thing by notifying the city. They just dropped the ball. Are you wanting me to stop?
You can finish
Just
your
telling the chairman it's 3 minutes.
Excuse me?
You can
Telling
finish
the
your last
chairman
statement.
it's 3 minutes.
Okay, so lastly, everybody failed to act. I couldn't get a hearing in the court. I couldn't get anybody to comply with the law. In the interim, we have properties that have been basically able to be removed from the tax rolls because people are not complying with the law and they're not enforcing the law. So I recently, excuse me, I have, so what I'm saying is that the taxing authorities, through 15 years of failing to act, have abandoned the right to tax. If you don't comply or you don't require the people who are required to comply with the law, you're basically saying we don't care about taxing this property. We don't care that the records are kept straight. And I believe that Judge Russell could have, everybody could have, had they done their job as I was presenting the documents, this thing could have been stopped at the city level. It could have been stopped at the county level, and it could have been stopped in Judge Russell's courtroom, and it wasn't.
When was
So-
this law?
Pardon me?
When was this?
Oh my goodness, it started in 2005 that I began collecting records, turning them in. The county actually went out, it would appear, if you want to see this? The
No,
county,
it's all right.
the county went out in 2008. After I tried to exhaust everything and nobody would do their part to make sure that you could get accurate taxing, nothing. Here we are, almost going on 10 years, well, it's gonna be a lot over that. I'm saying that you've lost the right to tax a property.
Okay, well, that's a court issue, so.
Well, but now listen,
Let's
it's
move on to
it's
public
not
comment,
just,
Laura, I left you
okay,
past your
but
time.
no, but the last of it is that I tried to get 3 appraisers and they can't come up with the fair market value of my property because of what has happened there.
Okay.
They're saying there's no such thing, and Pennsylvania.
This sounds like it's a Pottsville issue.
No.
And Pottsville meets Monday night at 6.
I'm gonna be there, I've been there, listen, I've been there for years, and I've been here for years telling you the same things over again. But the Constitution of Pennsylvania basically states, it's Article 8, Section 1, the uniformity clause holds that all taxes must be uniform, meaning all properties of the same class. You have allowed a second class of property to be created through failure to comply. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. Any other public comment? Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Steve Moyer from Pottsville. If I could, ma'am, I want to claim my wife's 3 minutes, please, or I'll bring her up. Look, back in December,
You can't do that, but just go ahead.
Back in December, I emailed Senator Arville and asked why the 911 call center had to be updated and they didn't send enough money for it, and why you had a $375,000 mandate for children, youth, and services, but the state didn't pay for it. Why is the state doing this? Plus, I asked why is a $12.5 million inheritance tax being taken from the county and given to the state? He wrote back to me and said, I've been in contact with the commission about the programs you mentioned here. I hope we can find a solution to protect taxpayers, the sooner the better. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. My thing to you guys is you better have a committee working on a plan B come 1 January 2027 when the guy in the White House cuts Medicaid so bad, and that's when it becomes effective because they waited till after the midterms, and also the nutritional programs, because your only source of funding is from us, correct? And we cannot afford no more raises. We just cannot afford it. I am so saddened today. I work with senior citizens. They are scared. They are upset. And, they can't even fill out these papers to appeal their properties because they don't have computers and they don't know how to do it. And I can't offer my services because I'm there for a different reason. And I think it's a shame on this country that we are treating our senior citizens like we are. They worked their whole life and paid their taxes. And where we're at now, you're going to put them out of their house. Not just you, the state who passes the mandates down to us. Representative Twarzik, I have to go up to his office today. He has 8 things, this exact question. I called up there and they said, yep, when the representative comes in, we'll talk with him and get you an answer. Never an answer. We're paying for these offices to have workers in them. And why? Just because they don't agree with my political views and I'm not loud about it, they do owe me an answer. And, it's just so sad. They don't know how they're going to stay in their house. They just don't know. I guess the government wants us all to go back to when the coal mine industry was here, where we rented the house off the coal mine owner, and then we went to the company store to buy our food. And that's where we're at. I mean, people are going to have to start moving in together because we have a cottage industry in this state, well, in the country, that buys up the property and then drives up the rent. And, I don't know what you're gonna do, but I'll tell you this, 1 January 2027, I don't wanna hear that, hey, the state's mandating that we pick up at the welfare office the Medicaid costs, and, which is sad, because what are they gonna do with the people in nursing homes? I mean, nobody has that kind of money, to pay for that, but it's gonna come down to that, and you guys are gonna get jammed, and I'm telling you, we're not gonna let it happen, because, you know that what's coming, and you should be thinking and putting a good thought process, what you're gonna cut here, and what services you need to cut, because you can't keep putting it on us. You can't. I mean, we appealed our assessments today. I'm happy we were allowed to appeal them, but they're out of their mind with some of the assessments they did, and I thank you for letting me talk, but I'm telling you, our senior citizens are saddened and scared, and nobody in the government seems to care. Nobody. You can say you do, but when they get this increased tax increase, how's that saying we care? I thank you for your time. I'll see you next Wednesday.
See you then. Any other public comment? Go ahead, George. Morning, George.
Good morning. You made a good statement. My name is George Stankovich, Palo Alto. It's time to realize, now you're not just hearing it from me, you've heard it from another person. You hear it from people that come up that can't afford their taxes already. Before this new one kicks in, they can't afford the ones they have. And they keep going up. I say it, and you guys have nothing to do with that. I know school taxes is so ridiculous. I'm so fed up with it. 55 years ago, I graduated from St. Clair High School. And I think I paid for my schooling. I have no children. I have no grandchildren. They always use that as an excuse. They can't use it on me and other ones like me. It's ridiculous. They just don't care. Like he said, senior citizens, they're panicking. I had a gentleman, and I know where he lives. I seen his house over in Minersville. It's a dump. And they raised his taxes $200. I wouldn't want a rat to live in that house. That's how bad it is. This is ridiculous. This is people of the United States of America. I'm ashamed to say we live here. The way they're treating people. I'm telling you, I get so emotional. I'm not really yelling at anybody. This is how it works up in your system. I hear these complaints each and every day in that senior center. People are panicking. Now, I just found out you get the appeal papers over here in the assessment office. And I'm telling anybody out there, get your proof, take pictures, whatever you have to do, where you live, how you live, how you're not being able to get help. I heard somebody statement, a lady I seen $15 over what she should have made, and they wouldn't give her any help. Any help. This is ridiculous. And you know what I did? I walked up, pulled $15 out of my pocket, and I said, here's her $15 that she went over. She's paying it back to you. They said, we can't do that, it's against the law. Now see, that's against the law. I'm telling you, it's time, people, I'm not talking about revolt, but to get these people out of office. They do not understand what we're going through. They don't. If you don't live it, you don't understand it. And I'm not telling you that a part-time job these gentlemen have and getting over $65,000 a year, give me that part-time job anytime, anywhere. I'll take it. I'll take it. But I'm telling you, I don't want nothing to do with politics. Nothing. I'm ashamed of all the politicians. When this is happening in the world, make statements, open your mouth, show the people that voted for you that you care, that you're listening to them. Send it to the governor, to the president of the United States, senators, congressmen. Get these people on board. They don't understand because they don't have to live through it. Please, anybody out there that hears my voice right now, start going to Argo's office, Tordzik's office, Shapiro, send them letters, whatever. If you can't travel there, send them a letter and get them on board. This is ridiculous. I'm ashamed of how they treat people. You know, people treat animals better than they do people. It is disgusting.
Okay,
How could you see anything like that?
thank you.
Thank you for your time, my time.
Any other public comment?
Morning, Jeff. Morning.
Jeff Dunkel, Palo Alto.
No one Lisa Stevens, no one Teresa. Okay.
Okay, I'm still gonna mention it. No update on the Lisa Stevens matter with the payroll scheme. No Teresa Gaffney again today. That's surprising. Wonder if anybody checked the bench warrants lately. $96,000 a year she gets paid to not show up unless there's a tour. So you hear these people struggling, not knowing how to pay these bills, and then you have somebody basically robbing them as an elected official that wants to act like she does her job and doesn't. $96,000 a year, that's a lot. Some of these people, maybe $15,000, less than $20,000 a year they get. She's making 96 and blatantly doesn't show up, and nothing's done to her. It's absolutely mind-blowing. So as Mr. Moyer said about cutting services and expenses here, that's a perfect example. I've been pushing this for at least 3 years, if not more. People get paid a full-time salary and treating it like a part-time job. Many of you guys up there. Boots, when you got injured, you should have been on the clock here doing something. You were on your farm. County insurance had to pay for everything. You weren't at the job, but yet you reap the benefits from it. You're also on record stating that this reassessment could have been fought for $100,000. So we could have fought this, maybe delayed it a little bit, come up with a different agreement to use pre-COVID numbers or different numbers other than these inflated numbers. But instead, the taxpayers have to be on the hook. And eventually the trickle-down effect is, with the budget and the money, if you follow the papers, follow the money, how many millions of dollars do we have to pay for Mr. Halkovich in his disgusting acts? That has something to do with this, whether you want to admit it or not.
For the reassessment?
The whole budget, the whole money spent, the whole, I'm just saying, the way his budget
Then it was
money, the
budgeted in the
expenses,
insurance
yeah,
companies.
not directly with the reassessment,
Yeah,
but
okay.
indirectly. So it's just a disgrace that, you know, we spent millions on him, but can't do anything to help protect the taxpayers.
No, we didn't have a choice, Jeff, hold on, and I'll stop your time. It was a lawsuit that we were sued, and we settled the lawsuit because of his appalling behavior. It was George Halkovich that did that.
So, you know, everybody's gonna, that's the problem.
Well, that's-
Hang on, because a lot of the things that come up with, a lot of things, not even just this. And mainly you, because you say, I wasn't here during that, I wasn't here during that. It's always George, it's always George, it's always George. But then you have that gentleman next to you and that gentleman over there that allowed the type of behavior and knew about it and allowed a Jane Doe 5, that's a whole nother lawsuit. There's how many victims? 7 women came forward, at least. You know, there was 4 in the lawsuit, 2 that didn't file a lawsuit, and then Jane Doe 5. So that's at least 7 women that came forward. And Mr. Bender was well aware of it. So was Boots. I mean, it was the classic cover-up job to protect each other. And now the people are paying for it. It's absolutely ridiculous.
I
But
don't
moving
think
on,
anybody was covering for George.
I just want to finish up so I get my time in here. 4 elected officials not here, 9:30 this morning. Glad to see some of them that usually don't show up are here. But 4 elected officials at 9:30. And then I just want to confirm one other thing. It was stated last week that terminations dealing with the courts do not need to be on a personnel action report, even as informational. Is that correct? Has anybody looked into that?
No, they need to be on a par form, Jeff. They don't need to be voted upon.
It does not need to be to the public and to the commissioners in informational setting. Is that correct?
It can be informational, but they don't need to take action to approve the termination. That's done by the
I'm not
board.
saying that. It doesn't have to be listed as
No, it
informational,
doesn't.
is what
We
I'm
can do
asking.
it, So we don't have to, there's no, as far as I know, we don't have to.
As far as you know, did anybody look into it?
Yeah, I did, I asked.
Or did you just ask the solicitor's office that's saying it doesn't have to be done? Because I checked elsewhere, and it should be listed as informational. You don't have to vote on it, you guys don't have to do anything. Right, but it should be listed as informational, so you may wanna check into that. I asked you last week to do that. And please do so outside of your solicitor's office, because they're not, I sent him an email and you attached 25 days ago for questions, still have 0 answers on that, so I appreciate your time.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Oh, hold on, there's a guy, wait.
Okay. To be my guest.
I got a simple question. Like everyone, I'm Brian Leibel from Williamsburg. A lot of people are complaining about the taxes, which that's the reason I'm here. Mine went from 39,000, that's 50%, to 410,000. And when I questioned it, he said, well, you value your house, I have a 2-bedroom, 1-bath house. And I do have a little bit of land with it. However, they said it's worth that much money. Well, no, it isn't now, because across the street, 100 yards, they're dumping biosolids. And I called the DEP so many times, never talked to a human being yet. I had 9 records that I called. And the machine, they leave it. They say, you'll get a phone call back. Never got a phone call back. I talked to Argo, I talked to Barton. Well, he has permits to do this. So I talked to the guy doing it, who's my neighbor, and I went past his house one day, the whole field's black, and stinks a bit, he couldn't stand it. And he said, I don't smell it. Well, he don't smell it, he lives in the campground all so long, he's not even home. So, what can you do? The only guy that came out was the Fish Commission guy. I mean, I put my farm in the riparian buffer on CRP years ago, did everything right, because I had cattle, they're near a stream, did everything right, but now we're dumping human waste basically into Pine Creek. The stream is right there, and all this rain we've been getting, it gotta be going into Pine Creek.
Where's that at?
Close to Deer Lake, actually. Right near the West Brunswick Township building,
Oh, okay,
basically right behind there.
okay.
Unfortunately, my house is 100 yards from his field, and so is my son, and so is 2 neighbors. I mean, we can't go out in summertime. Last week it was 100 degrees. I got up in the morning, drank a cup of coffee on my porch, and I had to go back in. It was horrible. I mean, with the Clean Air and Clean Waters Act, how could this be legal? I don't get it. I mean, how can you, they say it's biosolids. Well, I get company every now and then. They said, where's there a sewage treatment plant around here? I said, there ain't none. They said, well, what do we smell? I said, look across the street. So who can I talk to? I mean, I'm not getting, no one returns my phone call.
If you give us, write that information, and we'll get a hold of DEP. We don't have any enforcement power with
Yeah.
DEP, but we've done it for St. Clair and for the west end of the county to try to help them.
I mean, I called them, and the
Well,
neighbors
then
had
we'll
called.
call and see if we can get somebody to respond to you and come out.
I mean, the only one that came out was the Fish Commission guy, and he was very
Just
nice.
give your information to one of the solicitors,
All right.
name, phone number, and everything, and like a complaint, and we'll try to see what we can do. We have no authority. I wish we did. Any other public comment? Morning.
Morning. Sue Reed, Pottsville, if that's what you want to call this town. I call it Slumville, because it's not what it used to be. I'm here too about the taxes. My taxes went up 3 times the amount that I am currently paying right now. I don't even get that much in Social Security. So now I'm asking you guys, how do you expect me to pay these taxes when my 1 month of Social Security doesn't even cover it? So therefore, 1 month, I can't eat, I can't pay my bills. So now, okay, I don't do that. I pay my taxes instead. How do I catch up for that month that I didn't get to eat, pay any of my bills? 3 times is a lot of money for a senior citizen. It's disgusting. And I feel they still have my house listed as a Cape Cod. Well, I ain't got no beach out in front of my house. I really don't. I mean, I got a hill that doesn't ever get paved. Have you traveled on Ray Street lately? Or Fairview Street? Those streets are disgusting because of what they're doing. Sure, they're putting in a new sewer line or water line, whatever it is. But those roads are like you're going out four-wheeling. That's not funny.
No,
That's
I know,
wear and tear on my car.
I agree.
And then you wanna raise my county taxes when you don't even do a darn thing to my street. They don't do anything to that hill. When they put the pavements in on the flat, they didn't come down the hills. I had to put a pavement in because the rainwater from Main Street was running down the hill, jumping the curb that they had there, a little tar patch, and hitting my foundation. My foundation is nothing but field rock. So I don't know how they assess that my house is worth what they're saying it's worth. I don't think I could sell it for that much. It's not a Cape Cod. It's not a bungalow. It's just a regular house. Now, I know somebody who has 3 stories to their home. She's paying half the amount of money that I am. And I only got 2.5. How is this fair? It's not. And everything and anything that was done to that home when I first got it in 2000, 2001, nothing else has been done to it. So how can you say that it has improved in value? It's just going to be another for sale sign on the house. Have you ridden around town lately and seen how many for sale signs are on homes? Because they probably got their stupid taxes and can't afford them. Especially going out Laura Boulevard, going towards Providence Place. I think the county's gonna have to start building more high-rises for the senior citizens. Because we ain't gonna have nowhere to go. Our kids can't take us in because their houses are full. So, I mean, where does this money actually go? I wanna know, where does this county tax money go? Can anybody answer me?
To all the county services.
Which are?
Jail, courts, children and youth, adult probation, juvenile probation, senior services, magisterial justices, all the court stuff here, recorder of deeds, monetary, conservation district, 911,
Is every penny accounted for?
yes.
You can show me, boom, 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 this is what we took
That's what
in?
it- Yes,
Most likely not. It's like Doge. Elon Musk really dug up some stuff. I'm sure this country is spending money, millions.
you can't, when you come up, you can have your public comment,
I'm sorry.
okay?
But thank you. I mean, okay, so where can I get this information at?
Anywhere. You can go down to senior services is down there,
No, I mean from the county here. I wanna see where you spend every penny.
our budget's online, I think, right? The budget's online,
Yeah, I think the budget that Kathy audits, I might be online.
yeah, the audits and the budget are online.
Online where? I'm not good,
At the county website,
The county website.
which is?
SchuylkillCounty.gov.pa. I just always just Google it, I don't know.
Schuylkill County,
PA.gov.
SchuylkillCounty.ca.gov.
okay. Well, I really hope that, something can come of these taxes that you are assessing on me. Like I said, my social security don't even cover it,
Okay.
and that's horrible. I penny pinch my money now. And I would really, I would like you guys to pay for someone to come out and assess my house, not from the outside, but also the inside, to see if these people that you paid 7.3 million, I think you said?
I think it was-
Or is it more than that now?
As far as I know, it's 7.3.
7.4,
7.3.
7.3. That's an awful lot of money.
Oh, I know it is.
And where's that come from? The county coffers?
Yep.
Horrible. You should have somebody in this county who can do the assessment.
And
You
If
should
there-
not have to
hold
go
on.
out of state.
okay, hold on. There is only 3 companies that do reassessment in the entire state. Our state is the only state out of all 50 states that have not fixed reassessment. I've been harping on this since day one. Harrisburg needs to fix this. Reassessment in itself isn't a bad thing. It's waiting 30 years to do a reassessment is a bad thing. Other states do it every 4 years, every 5 years, every 3 years. So people might see a small fluctuation in their property value, $150 up, $150 down, and then it captures, like Jeff brought up, it captures, say the housing market goes down during that 5-year period. Everything adjusts and your millage adjusts. We can only do what Harrisburg allows us to do, and Harrisburg allows counties to be sued into a reassessment. We're not the only county that's sued. They're suing, oh my God, just about every county, I think, anymore has a lawsuit on them because we're the only state that has not fixed this. And every time I talk to Governor Shapiro, I talk to any of our legislators, whenever we're at CCAP and I'm with other representatives from other areas and everything, I tell them, you have to fix reassessment for counties because it is detrimental to the counties that it's not done on us. We should do one in 5 years from now. Because say the housing market goes down, in that 5-year period, that'll be captured and the millage will adjust. And then you could see maybe your taxes go down over a 5-year period at that reassessment. But when you wait 30 years to do a reassessment because there's no law that says you have to do it, the only thing, I honestly, me and Jeff were talking about it before the meeting. I thought you hit 25 mills and that would kick in a reassessment. Well, we found that counties have 50 mills. Lackawanna County, I think, is at 80 mills, sorry. Lackawanna County is at 80 mills.
We did the recess since 1967.
And they didn't reassess since 1967. They haven't reassessed in that period. They got sued, and they're doing a reassessment now. It needs to be fixed in Harrisburg. I hate reassessment. I hate the whole thing. It's all we hear about. I hate it. But it has to be fixed in Harrisburg. The county was sued. They give us no defense. They don't fix the law. It needs to be fixed in Harrisburg. It's 30 years of value.
Yeah.
Even if you would have did one every 10 years, it won't be as bad as it is right now because of waiting 30 years. Because Harrisburg, it's an ambiguous law, and it needs to be fixed. That's what, and I say it all the time publicly everywhere I go. Harrisburg needs to fix it. You need, like the man said he was going to Tim's tour ticket, and he said he's going to tell him you need to fix reassessment. You need to call Harrisburg because the county commissioners can only do what Harrisburg allows us to do. That's it. We are bound by their rules and regulations.
Okay, and if I remember correctly, Jeff brought up a thing about Hal Covage. We are paying, some of this money is going
Some of
towards
it-
that?
No, none of the, there was general fund money budgeted to pay the settlements. It was in this year's budget. A portion of it was, the rest came from the insurance carriers.
Okay,
So it won't be on next year's taxes paid,
but then explain to me, why is he even getting a pension?
because he was never charged criminally with anything.
And who was that up to?
I guess it would have
Sexual
been,
harassment is a civil case.
it would be, what?
Sexual harassment is civil.
It was a
it's
civil
not
case,
criminal.
and as far as I know, it was referred to the Attorney General's office, and they
And
didn't
he
press
paid,
charges on it.
okay, he paid them off then.
I don't know. That's the-
Well, come
I don't
on,
think
I
so.
mean,
And also-
Okay, Kim, go ahead. I wanna move on with the public comment. Go ahead, Gary.
No, there was also a movement to impeach him
And they didn't
many
do that.
times, and they didn't do it.
but why couldn't yous do it?
We didn't have.
They don't have the authority to do it.
Ironically, impeachment would not
Uh,
have disqualified him from his pension either.
Yeah, impeachment wouldn't have either. The only thing that disqualifies you from your pension if you're convicted of certain crimes, like embezzlement, financial crimes, felonies, but not all felonies. It has to be, I think if I'm correct, it has to be
Specifically.
specifically-
enumerated felonies.
specific felonies. So he was never charged with a crime.
Well, I think it was
Oh,
a
trust
crime
me.
what he did.
I know for a fact the commissioners, and even when I first got in, we looked at every way possible to see if I could go after his insurance, after his anything. And I was told by multiple lawyers and CCAP lawyers and everybody, no, you cannot.
Well, it's a shame that
Oh, I agree.
it's a shame that he's getting such a pension, and here I am, a senior citizen, not being able to pay my
Okay,
taxes.
can we, next public comment, please?
Thank you very much.
Is there any other public comment?
You can cure it.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name's Susan Bosley from Tamaqua. I just wanted to know who filed the lawsuit that prompted the reassessment?
It was a nonprofit out of Philadelphia,
Well, it was technically, it was 4 or
Three
5
residents.
citizens.
3 residents of Schuylkill County supposedly contacted this nonprofit out of Philadelphia, and it was 2 people from Ashland and 1 from somewhere else. I can't remember where the third one was from.
I'm not even sure they live here
Yeah, none of them, as far as I know, none of them are here anymore.
Plans.
I think 1 passed away, 1 moved away, and 1 possibly could still be here. So they supposedly contacted this nonprofit out of Philadelphia, what was the name of that nonprofit? I can't remember. Justice something. I gave it to Melinda, my paper. The last meeting, Jeff, do you remember what it was? Because I gave it to Melinda.
That was like community justice or something.
Community Action Justice out of Philadelphia. And they are suing, they're the ones that are suing every county in Pennsylvania. Because our law opens counties up to that lawsuit.
So they're well financed, I'm sure.
Somebody is financing them well.
Yeah.
They are suing every county so far that has been sued into a reassessment, has been sued by that one nonprofit. And the woman, Carbon County's now, they're on their radar, and they got notice that they're gonna be being sued.
Great.
So, and on their website and on their pages, they tout that they do this, that they're bringing justice for people by suing counties in the reassessment.
Is there any way that we can fight these people and make them go away?
And once again, if the legislators would fix reassessment in Harrisburg and do like every other state in the United States has done, and make reassessments that are cyclical, if you do one every 5 years, and with most states, what they do is if they do them every 3, 4, or 5 years, then the school districts in those states, they don't spot appeal. So it's for 5 years, this is the reassessment and that's it. That's your taxes for 5 years. You won't be, unless a
agree.
municipality raises taxes, or a school district raises taxes, or the county, that's what your taxes will be in that 5-year period. And then you do another reassessment every 5 years. This is the only state that it's this much of a mess with reassessment.
I agree, because as it is now, there's no industry and the incomes just aren't here to support these increase in values. One other thing I was looking at online was what criteria Vision used to assess the properties. And one of the things that showed up was they use an International Association of Assessing Officers standards. What does Schuylkill County have to do with international standards? That, and I couldn't get any information from that website because you have to be an authorized subscriber, so I couldn't even access anything online. So why are we competing with international standards?
I think it's just part of their criteria,
Yeah,
because they're part of the United States, they're part of everything. And like
This
I
is
said,
international.
as far as I know,
Which means the standards are applied internationally. It's not necessarily a standard that, we're not doing what they do in Europe or something like that. It's the manner in
Because we
which-
can't compete with Dubai.
No. And we're not comparing assessed values outside of Schuylkill County.
Schuylkill County, they can only
It's
compare.
it's the methodology that they use to come up with the assessment. I believe that's what these standards are.
Yeah, we were.
And again, a mass appraisal concept and approach is different than an individual property approach. So There are a number of nuances for countywide reassessment that don't necessarily apply to individual property assessment.
Okay, the other thing with the school taxes, is there a rate yet from, I guess that would have to come from the school board. We didn't get a rate on them yet. They're the ones I'm worried about. The school administrative salaries are exorbitant in the Tamaqua area.
Every time I mention the school districts, I get phone calls and get yelled at.
And rightly so, they're making $200,000 and more.
I'm not commenting.
Yeah, well, yeah, they are, and it was posted online, it's public knowledge. We can't afford that, we just can't afford that. So I would respectfully ask the commissioners not to certify these new property values come November. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other public comment? Okay, can we move on with the meeting? Frank, did you want to go now?
Sure, if you have a minute.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, Frank Schuylkill, Schuylkill Economic Development Corporation. SEDCO is undertaking an effort to attempt to bring Schuylkill County into what's called the Foreign Trade Zone 147. Foreign trade zones are entities that allow companies that do international business to be able to take their incoming product and instead of running it through the customs and border at the point of entry, they could bring it into their facility and manage it inside that facility. And when it gets finally shipped out, a customs officer is at that facility to certify the value and obviously take the tariff off of it if there is a tariff that applies. It provides a point of savings if there's a large scale amount of importing coming into a particular company. A good example is Hydro. Almost all of their aluminum comes in from Canada, which obviously would be subject to a tariff. So that tariff isn't paid at the border, a foreign trade zone, and they're a qualified company within it. It would allow them to basically defer that until a final or end product is shipped out of the facility. With the amount of logistics operations and international manufacturers that we have in the county, we thought it was worthwhile making an attempt to ask Schuylkill County to become part of this Foreign Trade Zone 147. It now covers 11 different counties in southeastern Pennsylvania. And they have asked if we can, as part of that request, for a letter of support from the county commissioners to that effort to bring Schuylkill County into that foreign trade zone. There's no cost or expense back to the county, and if the action is taken, it would allow us to then offer those services to any company within the county that might be able to take advantage of them. And obviously, with the amount of tariff discussion that's going on, everybody's looking for a way to kind of adjust their business model to accommodate what may be happening with those tariffs. So we're asking for a letter of support. I provided a draft of one back to the county administrator, and we would just ask for the county's support in making that application for the extension of Schuylkill County into Foreign Trade Zone 147.
Thank you. I'm fine with that. Do we need a motion to do it, or just that?
I'm wondering, do
Do it
the
next
board
week.
consider a resolution or something like that? Same thing.
Yeah, letter is fine, whatever the point, the request was to be sure that the county is on board
Yeah,
with what.
I'm fine with that. Can we we'll
Why
put
don't we
something on
put it
for
the
next
agenda?
week?
Yeah.
So we'll vote on it at next week's at the work session next week.
Okay,
Okay?
wonderful, thank you very much.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes from the commissioner meeting of June 25th?
So moved. Second?
On the question?
Commissioner Fedora?
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington?
Yes.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Can I have a motion to approve the work session minutes from July 2nd?
So moved. Second?
On the question?
Commissioner Fedora?
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington?
Yes.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Can I motion to approve what was presented by the grant writers at the work session?
So moved.
Second?
On the question?
Commissioner Fedora?
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington?
Yes.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Can I motion to approve what was presented by children and youth at the work session?
So moved.
Second?
On the question?
Commissioner Fedora?
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington?
Yes.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
The motion to approve was presented by planning and zoning.
So moved. Second?
On question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess.
Yes.
The motion to approve the block grants program.
So moved, sir. Second?
On question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess.
Yes.
The motion to approve was presented by domestic relations.
So moved. Second?
On the question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess.
Yes.
The motion to approve was presented by human resources at the work session.
So moved. Second?
On the question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess.
Yes.
The motion to approve was presented by the solicitor's office.
So moved, sir. Second?
On the question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess.
Yes.
Is there any new business? On the new business? Finance office?
Just one item, Mr. Chairman, and that is a budget adjustment for MIS. And that was to ensure that the proper budgetary authority was there for the purchase of computers.
Gary, do you want to say anything from STS?
I just, on behalf of the Board of Directors and the Transportation Authority, we would just like to thank the Board of County Commissioners for the resolution passed, so we could become the direct grantee. It will expedite our cash flow, and it will make the grant application process simpler for us. I can tell you that, in my opinion, this is a path to the future of STS, providing efficient, reliable, safe transportation for years to come to the residents and visitors of Schuylkill County. So, thank you.
And from what I understand, we were the last of our kind in the entire state.
We were the last county.
Okay, well, thank you for everything STS does. Appreciate your services.
And still continues.
Thank you.
Okay, County Administrator? Human Resources.
Good morning, Commissioners. In the Office of Senior Services, we have the appointment of Catherine Wysocki as an Aging Care Manager 2. That's effective 7/14/25, and the rate for the union contract is $18.93. In Human Resources, we have the appointment of Renee Petzel as an Office Support Secretarial Pool position. That's effective 7/14/25, and the rate is per the contract, and it is $14.2805. And informational items in the Sheriff's Office, we have the transfer of Heather Nedzwicki to Deputy Sheriff, effective 7/14/25, coming from Clerk 3 and Clerk of Courts, rate per the contract. In Clerk of Courts, the appointment of Teresa Purcell as a Clerk 3, 7/21/25 is the effective date, rate is per the contract. And in the Coroner's Office, the appointment of Jessica Turpak as a Deputy Coroner Investigator, effective 7/14/25, per diem not to exceed 950 hours, the rate is per the fee schedule. All the appointments are pending drug test and physical where appropriate, and all actions involving salary or for positions being created are pending salary board approval.
Can I have a motion for the Office of Senior Service appointment and the Human Resource appointment?
So moved. Second?
Any question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess.
Yes.
Motion to adjourn.
So moved, sir.
Thank you. Salary Board, report of any executive sessions?
Yes. As per section 8-8-1 of the Sunshine Act, an executive session was held on Tuesday, July 8th, 2025, at 11 a.m. for the purpose of discussing a personnel matter.
Public comment for salary board? Oh, okay. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes from the June 25th meeting?
So moved, sir. Second?
Any question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess, Controller Yekenship. Yes.
A motion to approve the salary board work session minutes of July 2nd.
So moved. Second?
Any question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess,
Yes.
Controller Yekenship. Yes.
Human Resource Office.
Nothing to report.
Any new business? Adjourn. Retirement Board. Report of any executive sessions held for Retirement Board?
There were none.
Public comment for Retirement Board?
Yes.
Go ahead.
So Huntsville. I have a question about the retirement. If I remember last month it was, they said there was almost $4 million in that retirement fund. Is that correct?
I believe a lot more than that.
Okay,
174. She'll have the
She'll have a
report.
report.
okay. Well, what I wanna know is, how many people get how many people get pulled out of that retirement fund?
Currently, there is approximately 650 retirees.
And do they ever get raises?
There's cost of living requirements for the retirement board that we must address every 3 years. And it goes on whether or not the county can afford to give a COLA, a cost of living increase.
I think 2017 was the last one.
Yes, and prior to that, it was 2007. You have to remember, when you give a cost of living increase, if you have people collecting pension, the cost of living increase of maybe 2% might cost the county an additional over $1 million a year.
Yeah.
And if the county can't fund, and the trust doesn't grow, that money has to come from taxpayer money to fund the retirement.
And no more people are getting into this retirement fund, correct?
We have a pension, the pension system stands. Under Act 96, we have a defined benefit plan that is what we offer every current employee full-time. If you're
And
a
it's
part-time,
and it's mandated 8% right off every paycheck. You participate in giving the money to the pension system. It's just not 100% county funded, huh?
and it is mandated under Act 96, which is a state law which governs every county in the state of Pennsylvania.
Okay. So 217 was the last time, so maybe in 2 more years they might get a cost of living raise.
It will depend upon funding. It's if the
What do you-
county can afford to give a cost of living increase.
If you have $4 million in there, how can you say that you don't have enough money?
It's
Ma'am,
not
it's a
matter
complicated
of having
issue.
money. You have to continually fund this till the person dies. Schuylkill County's oldest retiree passed away on June 6th. She was 102 in 5 months. She retired at the age of 60. Actuarial life right now is age 85. So when we do a pension quote and we do a pension final, we have to have the actuary predict what the payment is. And they predict it to be age 85. That's when they figure you're going to die. And that's federal government has these panels to come up with mortality tables. So right now it's age 85. So when somebody lives past that, somebody may have contributed and the county might have put away $100,000 towards somebody's pension. But that person might collect $300,000. So this is why cost of living increases aren't necessarily a given, because we have to fund it, and it will be taxpayer funding if the trust cannot pay.
Okay, so what I'm getting from this is each employee has to pay 8% of their total gross?
Yes.
And then what do you put in?
It is
Nothing?
defined.
Yeah, if you want more questions about the pension, you can meet with Sandy and Sharon and explain the whole pension thing, 'cause it's very,
Complicated?
yes.
It is.
Okay, thank
One
you.
more comment, Schuylkill County's pension fund is solvent, not every county can say that.
Yes.
Correct. Okay.
Any other public comment? Okay, can I have a motion to approve the monthly minutes from June 11th?
So moved. Second?
On question?
Commissioner Fedora?
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington?
Yes.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Controller Yekenship?
Yes.
And Treasurer Yike?
Yes.
Controller's report.
Good morning. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Sandra Pacena. I am the pension administrator for Schuylkill County. During the month of June 2025, 5 members received retirements of $1,067,089 with pro rata payments of $2,283. 6 members received refunds of $21,094. 3 deceased retirees received pro rata payments of $142. 1 beneficiary receives a continued monthly payment with a pro rata payment of $73. The market value of the retirement fund as of June 30th, 2025 was $174,286,645. The total market value of the retirement fund as of today, July 9th, 2025 is $174,805,676. Also, Albert Barnes has requested to vest his pension on June 30th, 2025. Also, requests for buybacks. Abigail Mills is requesting to buy back a prior service and also a buyback of a leave of absence. Heather Maley is requesting to buy back a prior service, and Zachary Brumell is requesting to buy back a prior service. Thank you.
A motion to approve the controller's report?
So moved.
Second. Any question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess,
Yes.
Controller Yekenship,
Yes.
Treasurer Yap.
Yes.
Any new business?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.